I have things I want to do today, but it's going to require me to go ahead and go out and hang out my clothes on the line because they have to get dried before I do the thing I want to do. But before I can hang out these clothes, I have to go let the dog out, but I can't let him out until I get his collar off the charger. So trying to get all this done so I can just walk out the door and then get on the things I really need to do. I've got three main things I want to get done today. I want to put gas in these gas cans over here. I'm kind of desperate to get that done, and I think I'm going to try to get it done as soon as possible. I waited, and I've had it on my list for a couple of weeks, haven't done it, and I've sat here and watched the price of gas go up 90 cents a gallon. So that cost me a lot of money to procrastinate on this. But before I can go get the gas, I want to take the gas that I do have. One of these cans is full and one has a little bit in it. I know my lawnmower doesn't hardly have gas, so I'm going to take what gas is in there and put it in the lawnmower, and then hopefully that'll kind of fill that up. Then I'll go to the gas station and have 3 empty cans to fill up, which I want to do because I want to have as much gas on hand as possible. But first, let me let the dog out. I had to put the tarp around him last night because we had another violent system come through, and it brought kind of a little cold front, and I didn't want the dog to get cold last night. Sorry, had to stop and put his collar on him. That's what I did first, let the dog out. Of course, that's not the first thing I've done today. I've cooked breakfast, got my husband ready. I tried to organize myself, got myself ready, and then tried to organize my thoughts. I even sat down and wrote a list because I've got to make hay while the sun shines. And that's a true statement for right now, where I'm at. I'm feeling very overwhelmed. We've had terrible weather. We had a violent thunderstorm come through Monday. We had a tornadic system pass right over us Wednesday. I have spent 2 different nights ready to dive in my bathroom if I needed to. And it's kind of like I need to get back to normalcy, and I've got a lot to do because I've got a lot of things going on. There were 3 things I wanted to get done today. Fill up those gas cans that I was just talking to you about, and I wanted to burn a couple of burn piles. I'll explain why in a little bit, but I wanted to get those done. But I wanted to make sure what the wind was going to do. It was only supposed to be 2 miles an hour or so. But as you can kind of see as this video goes on, my clothes start blowing pretty good. I don't like burning when there's a lot of little gusty winds. Sometimes they'll lay down in the evening, so I may not burn till the evening. But I wanted to get these clothes hung out so they would have time to dry and take them off the line before I started burning those 2 burn piles. So this is a little process. It's kind of like, what do you need to do first to get something else done? What I needed to do first was get these clothes dried. Then I'm going to judge the wind later in the day, I guess, and we'll see how it goes. And then hopefully I can get to that burn pile because I really have a need to get that done as well. I've got 2 burn pile spots on my property where I burn things. This one I was going to eliminate, and it had a little bit on it, and I was going to eliminate it here shortly because it's going to be situated right by my mom's cottage that we're moving onto our property as soon as it's built, probably around the 1st of May. And I didn't want to have a burn pile right near her property because you can smell the ash sometimes even after it's long since quit burning. I don't want to burn right by our house, and it just kind of makes an eyesore out of her windows. But I'm going to have to use it one more time because of all the debris we had after these storms. Since my golf cart is broke and I don't have a wheelbarrow right now, my sister lent me this little cart thing that you can use to go around your yard, and it's actually really good. It rolls easy. And I went around the yard yesterday and did things like this. This is just one little load. I added a lot to the burn pile I just showed you, and then I completely did this one from top to bottom because this one had been burned down recently and nothing was here. All this is debris from the 2 storm systems we got this week, and I'm not even near about finished yet. it gets kind of depressing when you're doing things like this on 2 acres, because you just feel like you're never going to finish. And that's the way I feel right now. So yesterday I kind of divided my yard into sectors. And I said, you know what, Lainey, just do from here to here to here to here. And when you get done with that, celebrate a little bit. Because I have to turn around and come back here to areas like this that are very cluttered with debris. Very cluttered. Just got lots of big old pieces like this that I don't want to hit with my lawnmower. So they need to go to the burn piles. I'm gonna go ahead and take this right now. This little area here got hit pretty hard. Got a lot of bigger sticks and debris. I don't have to have all this done right now, but I really, and I may, you know, it may drag out. There's some big chunks there that fell. It may drag out a little bit, but I'm so wanting to get my yard in a nice condition. I'm fixing to have a lot of people here with contracting kind of things to hook up my mom's lights and plumbing, which brings me to another thing that is on my list for today. I wanted to burn, but I'm obviously not gonna be able to do that right now. I'll see how that goes this evening. And there's another big stick over here. So that was one of my 3 things I wanted to do today, but I might just not be able to do it right this second. And the second thing was the gas cans, which I'm fixing to do right now. But first, there's always a but first. But first, the main thing on my list is this. This area here looks like a wetland, and there's a reason. I've told you before, I have a sprinkler system for my sewer output. After it cleans all the sewer stuff and all, it sprinkles the last of the residue out of a sprinkler system. I always point out, but I have one there, and one down there. You have to have 3 of them about 40 feet apart. Well, I've been in a chicken or the egg situation because I've had these sprinklers just bust on me. They bust down the seam of them. They're not made really well, but they're my only option. I was getting them from my plumber, which I could get more from my plumber, but this time I just got on the internet and ordered some from Amazon because they're the exact same thing, and I can just get them brought here instead of having to go to his town and get them. So that's what I'm doing. This is my latest one to explode. It's not working at all anymore. As a matter of fact, it threw it up in the air. It exploded so much, and just threw it, and it's gone. So I have no sprinkler system here right now. Now the water comes out though. But because there's no sprinkler here, these 2 are barely outputting anything. All the water is coming here and shooting up like Old Faithful geyser. I've been knowing it's broke. I've been wanting to fix it. It's one of those things I kept putting off, and it got so cold this winter, and I didn't want to come out here and deal with it in the freezing weather and cold wind. I just put it off. Well, in the meantime, it just shoots up like Old Faithful, like I said, and it has created this big bog here, which is an eyesore, and which is my fault because I just got tired of fixing things. I'll be honest with you, I get tired of fixing things. Another reason why I kind of put off this project was because with my mom's cottage getting put here, I knew that the man was going to be coming to tie into this last sprinkler here, and we're going to add 3 more sprinklers. That's the what I decided to do. Actually, when I went to the permitting office about all this, I was worried they were going to ask us to have a whole separate system for my mom, and not wanting it tied in with ours at all, and go through all that expense. Well, actually, they said no. They looked at my paperwork for my house, and they said, no, you have a big 500-gallon system. Yours is more than enough for what you need. She said, just tie your mom's into yours. So we will have to pay him to trench and tie my mom's output from her house, her trunk line and everything, into my system and everything. But we don't have to put in her own system, so that'll save us thousands of dollars. But since my problem with my system has been that I think it goes through that 500-gallon tank, and then it goes into the second little processing system, and it outputs so much at one time, I think, that's why my sprinklers keep popping. I think they just have too much pressure coming out of that big system. So I asked her, I said, would it be okay if we added like 3 more sprinklers to this, tied into this last one of mine, maybe go towards the back of my property and across, and put 3 more? And I told her what was going on with the sprinklers popping all the time, and she said, oh well, she said that makes sense. She said, yeah, just do that. And so I asked her if there's permitting needed or they need to come inspect or whatever, and she said no. We do have a lot of restrictions in our parish on some of these kind of things, but since they had worked with me before, since they're familiar with what I have and they keep really good records on it, they were able to just determine that this would all be okay. And so we don't have to pay any permitting. I do have to get it straight with my sewer man on what he's going to charge to do the tying in and to add the extra sprinklers. But that's why I kind of wasn't worried about this, because I knew he was going to be messing with it, and we could like put the new sprinkler on at that time. But then as this bog kind of grew back here, I realized I don't want him coming over and really seeing this, or having to deal with this, or trench it through this really thick grass that has grown up all of a sudden. I mean, I don't want him seeing that though. So that's why I want to get that spot drained, and I want to get it cleaned up, because I just don't want him seeing that bog. Water goes downhill, so it's not rocket science. I can kind of drain this part, and you can see it's already running down my little channel there. So this part ought to go good too. Well, it's working. It's working right now. See it all run into that channel and filtering down. Hopefully it'll just fill up that. Now this isn't the end all do all. I've got a big old mess right here of dirt, and I'm gonna have to clean that up and spread that out, and fix my little channel that I dug at some point. But my goal is to just get this standing water off of this. There's no way it would dry up in sunshine when it's 3 inches deep. So right now you can see it's already almost down to the ground. So hopefully over the next 3 days, somewhat it can dry up. I have a full 5 gallons in this tank, and I think I have at least 1.5 gallons or so in the other tank, and I'm pretty sure my mower is going to take every bit of that. I can't remember. I primed my mower the other day. Yeah, that's right. I primed it because when my husband's golf cart went kaput, it went kaput out in the middle of our front yard, and I had to crank my mower to go push him in the golf cart and let him steer it up to the carport. And it wouldn't start, so I realized it's probably out of gas, so I primed it with a little gas, and so that's all it had in there, just a little bit of gas. Now I have this tank on this side and that tank on that side, so even if it takes this whole, say, 6.5 gallons, it's not going to fill it up, because it can take up to 10 gallons. And I know it doesn't have 10 gallons. A lot of videos, you try to kind of have a little bit of an exciting part to kind of climax the video, or you kind of want a really cohesive theme. You kind of want there to be interesting points for people to have takeaways on what they should do and how they should manage things or whatever. I don't know if this video is going to be that, but I'll tell you what it is it's a realistic view of just every day. It's a realistic view that you just have to deal with each day and get done what you can get done, and you're dependent on the weather. You're dependent sometimes on help. You're dependent on things being working rather than broken. I was talking about before a while ago. Before I could load these cans, I had to come take my husband's wheelchair out because I can't put these cans in here with his wheelchair. I just always say it's the 12 little things you have to do before you ever get that one big thing done that can really make you tired and hang you up. But what you gonna do? I forgot to show y'all my big limb that fell in my garden. It bent down my chicken wire thing over there all to the ground. So I'm gonna have to kind of fix that up. Yeah, we had some wind. We had some big wind. I've got a plant crisis, 911, and I've got to kind of stop today and solve it. I'm looking for, I think I see it right there. I'm looking for something I can make a trellis out of. Let me move these chairs, and I'm praying there's no snakes back here. My friend had given me 2 melatonin plants. I showed them to y'all the other day. And I know this video is kind of bumpy, but I can't help it. I've got to kind of pull this out here. All right. I didn't know if I still had any of this that wasn't being used. This is fantastic. Okay, I need to make a trellis. She told me that the melatonin need to be on a trellis, and I have plenty of T-post. Okay, what I'm wanting to do is maybe have this arching over some T-posts. So you need 2 T-posts on either side and have this arching over. Yeah, I have enough that it could hang down the sides and all too. I keep walking y'all towards my back garden all the time, it seems like lately, but that's kind of where this might work the best. I'm trying to think how to utilize kind of what I have. How muddy is this? Let me see. I might be crazy walking in here, but it's not that. I mean, it's muddy, but it's not like I'm not sinking or anything. I'm trying to think. If I used this post here as one of my corner posts, maybe put another post here and then come out and put a post here and a post here. And I hope you could kind of see what I'm talking about. Just put another post here, put a post here, put a post here, and then run that mesh wire stuff up one side, let it arc, and come down this side. I think that's what I'm going to do, and I need to do it today. I walked y'all through it verbally because my phone was fixing to die. So while I had the phone charging, I came out here and built it. That's pretty much what I was talking about. I just used that back corner as one post and then did a square with 3 other posts that I got out from under my shed. I had to end up, I arced it, you see it's arced there. I did end up cutting about 2 foot off of this bottom here because I just didn't want to have it in the way or try to fold it up. This stuff is not real amenable like some chicken wires and all are. This stuff is more aggravating to deal with. So I just went ahead and cut it off. I don't like to do that a lot when I'm gardening because I never know when I'm going to need it somewhere else. And I don't want to have wasted any feet. You know, I want to be able to always have a lot of feet of this stuff. But I'm thinking that this little trellis can just stay here for a long, long time. And so I thought, let me just trim it and we're going to go with it like that. So I think this came out pretty good. I'm going to step on the outside of my little cage here, my little garden, and I'm going to just kind of show you from the outside. It's a little trellis in the middle of my garden. 28-foot long garden. And then right in the middle of it, I have a little 4-foot square trellis with that wiring over the top and everything. and I think it'll be pretty sturdy for whatever grows on it. It's not cattle panel. It's just a real open face wiring that you can use for all different reasons, fencing or whatever. But I think I've kind of pushed around on it, and I think it'll be fine for what's growing here. I'm going to break in here to show you at our daughter's house. They had a tree fall. They just bought a house about 8 miles from us, and they got baptized with a tornado within a month of moving there, and this tree fell. I didn't realize how big the thing was until we just drove up. My husband and I came to look at it, and that's a big old tree. That's a big old tree. Wow. Looks like it was pretty old, and you know, wasn't a brand new tree or anything, it looks like, but it was big, and it had been standing for many years until this happened. I wanted to look at the root system down here. Lord. Wow. Deep hole. That's a big root system there. Yeah, they don't have a fireplace, but if they did, they would have firewood for years. They're gonna have to, I think we have a chainsaw, but it's gonna take some work. They're gonna have to end up probably burning some of this and getting what they can. That's a big old tree. Right when they move here, boom. Oh well. The wind did lay down this evening, and so that was a good thing. And I'm gonna try to get this burn pile pretty much burned up by my mom's cabin. And then this one's gonna go bye-bye. I'm only gonna use the other one from there on out, as I told you before. Peaceful evening, good fire. Very, a whole lot of stuff to burn. If I don't get it all tonight, I'll do it tomorrow. But it's a good ending to a day, because at least I know now I got pretty much this thing crossed off my list. There's some more burning to do, and I've got lots of sticks to pick up. But right now I can say, you know, I made progress on it. In order to truly show me completing these 3 goals of mine that I had on Friday, I wanted to follow up with the fact that on Saturday, my sprinkler came in. I'm getting out here on Sunday after church to put this sprinkler on, because we have a lot of rain coming again tonight. And I just kind of want to not have this go back to being a bog I have to worry about right now. I want to get this sprinkler on. This little blue thing right here is a jar opener that you can use on jelly jars or whatever. And I use it to help me get that canister unscrewed. I'm going to take my shovel, and I have to dig down until I find the bottom of this and unscrew this canister. The middle guts part of it and the top of it blew off. Well, I thought I had my camera on and didn't. I basically unscrewed this. It screws on to a little place there at the bottom, and then all you do is screw your other sprinkler right onto it. I wanted to show this completed. Y'all have a great and wonderful week. Bye-bye.